Violator Radio Uncut, 2 hours of the hottest hip hop and R&B. I'm Violator All-Star DJ Fusion, and with me today is Jon Keith. How are you, my man?
What's good, man? I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to have you here. I've been playing a couple of your singles over the last couple months, and just want to start out with congratulations on the success with Club, produced by Dark Child. Like, dope record, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But we're here because you've got some new music that's coming out. You've got an album called Grow Wings and a new single, Eyes on Us. And I really like this single, man. I love the R&B vibe to it. And I was just, hoping that you could shed a little light on where Grow Wings came from and where you're at in life now, man.
Yeah, man. So, kind of on a new journey sonically with music, doing a lot more melodic stuff, a lot more pop. I still love hip hop, but I'm kind of, I like to do a lot of different things. And so you kind of never know what you're going to get from one of my releases. So I like that. I think that's fun. So, Grow Wings kind of comes from the story of just, being frustrated with lack of movement, lack of growth, and what it actually takes in order to, I'll say, become new, and like the album is kind of about the falling apart that has to take place in order for you to be made new, and metaphorically speaking, in order for the butterfly to be born. So, yeah.
Okay. So it's really, really deep then. You're probably going to a lot of places that some people aren't really comfortable talking about, but, you're trying to normalize that and make it a part of your artistry.
100%.
And that's dope. How long have you been making music?
Oh, man.
Most of your life?
Yeah, I mean, a long time. I think I started writing songs at 14.
Okay.
Yeah. So actually about 14 years now. That's crazy.
Wow. That's cool, man. That's cool. And so you got a few albums underneath your belt. Does that kind of help? Do those experiences kind of help you to shape Grow Wings and give you that content to, essentially shed again?
Yeah. I feel like as people, we're always going through different stages and seasons and all that kind of stuff. And each season kind of brings something to you and something out of you. And ultimately, I think, by the end of your life, you're more you than you were at the start of it. Right. And so every day, like, we become more ourselves. And I would say, personally, with God, I think that God helps you become the truest version of who you're supposed to be, of who you were meant to be. So, yeah.
And it gives you the path to follow, essentially the blueprint to be on. So the Eyes on Us record, it feels like a statement record, man. It's not just a vibe, although the vibe is really dope. It hits different. Tell me a little bit about what you want people to take away the first time they hear this. What's your message for Eyes on Us?
Yeah, I really just want people to know that in the midst of tragedy, in the midst of heartbreak, and in the midst of natural disasters and loss, whatever it is, that you're never alone, that God's present in each of those things, and while we live in a world that's broken, God still, he cares so much about every little thing, and he actually cares more than us. And so, he's present, and the plan is and has always been to set everything right, and he will. So, yeah, just the kind of that reminder.
Okay, that's strong. I like that, man. There's a lot of people that like to put artists in a box, faith-based, hip-hop, indie. I don't feel like that really works for you. You have such a broad sound to you, such a dynamic sound to you. How do you keep that in, how do you keep that separation out in your career?
Well, I mean, to me, I definitely don't intentionally try and separate anything. I say to everybody, I'm a Christian, everything. I'm a Christian father, and I'm a Christian husband. I'm a Christian friend. I'm a Christian artist. And also within that, I'm human, you know what I'm saying? And so I think there's this stigma with faith-based music right now that and it's been this for a little while now, but within the grand scope of history, it's still a fairly new thing that faith-based music uh, has to have like scripture references
Mhm.
or all that kind of stuff. When it's like you know uh, people who religious people, faith-based, whatever, Christian, we live human lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so the goal is to make art that reflect our human lives, but our human lives uh, they come from a certain perspective because of the fact that we have God, right? But it's not like because I have God, I'm never going to go through heartbreak. I'm never going to drop the ball. I'm never going to be betrayed. I'm never going to betray somebody. I'm never going to do things that I regret. I'm never going to be angry with God. I'm never like that's not a thing. And so, you know, I would say there's a lot of art that I think um I would classify as like Christian art that a lot of people wouldn't because I think it reflects uh the life of someone's struggle with God. So,
Okay.
you know,
When I first heard your music, I had no idea you were a faith based artist. That was I don't know, probably 8 or 10 months ago. I think "Him" was the first song. I was like
yeah,
October, November last year.
yeah,
And it really took like really getting into the lyrics and kind of researching you. You know what I mean? Like the presentation, the first
yeah,
impression was like, this is just dope music. You know
yeah.
what I mean? So like I
Appreciate
feel
that.
like
Thank
that's
you.
you're definitely not coming out here like on a vibe of like this is faith based. Like it's just pure Jon
Man.
Keith.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah, there's it's a really weird thing. It's a weird space we're in right now for music and especially faith-based music because it's like uh again within the grand scope of history, like Christian artists being like lesser art or even art that copies and takes from uh mainstream is like a new thing. Like that's new and it's gross. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that's not supposed to be that's not supposed to be the case. I mean, within you look at like people like Michelangelo and like Beethoven and like these are people of
Artist.
faith.
Yeah.
They're artists and they're people of faith and they're not people don't go, oh, that over there, that's Christian art. No, this art has shaped the entire course of the world
Humanity,
and
yeah.
humanity. And and so like if I can ever make a piece of art that's comparable with the Sistine Chapel, it's like, okay, well, I've done something crazy. And you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, um, yeah, I think that
That's I think that's dope, man. You know what I
thank
mean?
you,
Like
man. I appreciate that.
it's well received. You had the opportunity to sit down on the Breakfast Club, one of the biggest platforms in radio, one of the biggest platforms for hip hop. What was that
Mhm.
experience like for you?
That was cool. It was really dope. Growing up, watching these shows, watching Breakfast Club and Sway and Big Boy's Neighborhood, and like all of these joints, like uh, and then being able to go and sit down with these people that have been the tastemakers for things and like the platforms for the all of my favorite artists and all that kind of stuff since I was a kid is it's a blessing.
And again, it's something you've watched for years. Is there like a surreal part of that experience where you're like, I'm meeting
Yeah,
Envy and Charlemagne, I'm meeting Big Boy, like I'm shaking Sway's hands, man. Like that's
yeah.
just that's so dope.
I've been on Sway 3 times now, and every time it still feels like I can't believe that this is happening right now. So yeah,
That's the energy that he gives off though. That's the vibe, you know what I mean? And he's a legend, man.
yeah,
Speaking of legends, you've been working with Dark Child for a while now, part of Aliens
yeah.
Alive. What's it like to work with Rodney, man? Like he's such an icon in this music industry.
Yeah, it's great. The thing I love most about Rodney is like I mean, he's a legend. His wisdom is deep, you know what I'm saying? And um like he's obviously extremely talented, but he's also just super down to earth. Like he's like, you know, for someone who's worked with Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston and the Destiny's Child and Brandy and Monica and Justin Bieber and Mariah Carey, like I can, the list goes
Everyone.
on.
Yeah.
Everybody, for someone who's worked with everybody, he's like, man, I'm trying to love God and love people. You know
And
what I'm
that
saying? I'm like, that's incredible, and so like he does have a servant's heart. He's just like, I want to see how we can help bring your vision to life. And then also just being in the music industry, you meet a lot of shady people, a lot of people
oh
that are trying
man.
to take advantage of you, who are just trying to make a quick buck. And that's just the opposite of Rodney. Rodney's just like, he's just trying to give. He hasn't gotten anything from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Like he's just trying to give. And so, um,
But that
yeah,
aligns really with what you're saying. He's trying to be a good man and a man of God and
yeah,
help people, and that aligns really with where you're trying to be. So I think
absolutely.
that's why the magic is happening, man. You guys are making some really dope projects.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So Grow Wings is out. It's available on all platforms right now. Eyes on Us is the first big single that I'm kind of gravitating towards. What would you recommend for our listeners to be the next single to go check out off of Grow Wings?
I would go and check out No Hands featuring John Bellion. I love that record. It's super universal to me. Like I'm talking to God in the song. But I think it can just be applied wherever. If you have kids, you can relate to it. If you have a husband or wife that or a girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever that you love, like it can relate. You can relate to it. It's just a song about like undying love and loyalty. I think it best fits God because I think his love and loyalty is incomparable to anybody else. But I love how universal it is. So
I would also think the online chatter with John Bellion is huge too. You know what I mean? Like people are really excited to see this collaboration, to hear this
mm-hmm,
collaboration. So I'm
mm-hmm,
definitely excited to check that out next.
100%.
And between the fashion and the visuals, you clearly really pay attention to your brand. How important to you is your visual style when you're releasing your music?
Very important. Sometimes in this world we live in, a lot of times people see something before they hear it. And so if you're scrolling somewhere and you see something and like the song could be amazing, but if everything looks like boo boo, it's like,
It's not
what
going
am I
nowhere.
doing? Like, yeah, I'm not trying to pay attention. I'm not gonna keep watching this. I'm not gonna share it. And
Yeah.
so, um, I would say it's wildly important.
Okay. Well, I really dig the visuals that you got going. I've just started to check out the Grow Wings visuals. I saw the 40-second teaser where you were dropping all the names and everything and singing, and like that was
Mhm.
super dope. And now I'm about to get into some more of the videos, man. But it's
Yeah,
it's, it's really well curated, and I'm excited to get into this,
thank
man.
you, thank you, man. Yeah, I would go watch the "Won't Fly" music video.
That's
That
actually the
joint.
one that I was just getting into while I was waiting for you, and I was about a minute
Yeah,
and a half in, and I'm like, oh man, it's about to get good too. And then you popped
yeah,
in, and I'm like, oh, got to come back, got to circle back.
yeah.
Last question I
100%.
got for you, Jon Keith. I support a ton of independent artists, a ton of local, regional artists here. I was wondering if you could lend any advice to up and coming artists to help them get on your level.
Um, man, I don't know what my level is, but I will say, uh, you know, you know, just keep at it. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing it, do it because you love it. If you don't love it, go do something that you love. Um, you know, and if you love it and you're doing this, then find your why. You know, find your why. Figure out who you're trying to talk to, and just be consistent.
Man, I love it. That's dope advice. Summer 2025 is upon us, and Grow Wings is the soundtrack for that summer. Jon Keith, I appreciate you, my man.
Man.
What you looking forward to? You got any big shows coming? You got anything
Yeah,
rolling
so
that
we
we can
got
come
a
see you?
yeah, we got a festival in Nashville, Tennessee, August 14th through 16th. It's called Holy Smoke. And yeah, I'm co-headlining it with some other dope artists, No Big Deal, Indie Tribe, Alex Jean, What Up RG. And so yeah, it's gonna be great. Come out to it. It's fire. It's at Rocket Town. Again, August 14th through 16th. Tickets at indietribe.us. Yeah, it's
That's
gonna be lit.
awesome, man. You know what? I did want to ask you one more thing. You're natively from San Diego, but you're living in Nashville now. Definitely
Yeah.
like a very country-esque heavy area. How are
Yeah.
you finding that, as an artist? Is it fruitful? Is it interesting? Like, what's the Nashville
Yeah.
experience like?
Yeah. It's been dope. Like being dope. It's just been dope being surrounded by so many dope artists, and like-minded artists. And I also will say, because of the fact that, I mean, there's like an exodus from California happening right now, and a lot of them are going straight to the promised land that is Nashville. So,
Okay.
it's a lot of, there's definitely some Southern, I mean, this is the South, but me and, I mean, like, I hardly ever meet Nashville natives.
Okay.
I'm meeting a lot of people that are from a lot of different other places. So,
That's what's up.
yeah,
Well, and I imagine, you're seeing lots of different artists through, man. You're probably getting some really cool opportunities with that as well. So, Jon Keith, I thank
definitely.
you for your time, my man. Grow Wings available on all major platforms. I encourage you all to get out and get that. Check out Eyes on Us. Check out Won't Fly. There's so many great songs on this album. Jon, thank you.
Mhm. Thank you, man.
All right. That's what I got for you, my man.
Oh, Steph, thank you, man. Thanks for having me.